Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the world of Avalanche, taking a look at what's been going on most recently with the price action and what I think is likely to happen next. Now as I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe? Tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out. Link is in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. So why not go ahead and check it out? Let's jump right down into today's video, kicking things off with the 1 hour time frame. So here we have AVAX paired up with USDT. We're using the Binance chart here as our data source. So let's take a look. Right, we see so we had a pretty decent move to the upside, okay, and it seems to be stacking up quite nicely. We want to kind of just reference kind of what's going on here, right? So we have the red and yellow lines. These are the red line being the 50 EMA, the yellow line being the 50 SMA, and then the white line down here is the 200 EMA. So you can see that we are finding good support here on our 50 EMA and SMAs. Okay, and that's helping us kind of move on up. Now, there's a couple of instances where we kind of lost it, just over here, for example, but for the most part, we're actually holding up quite well. Where we have lost the 50 EMA and 50 SMA, we found good support on the 200 EMA. The 200 EMA is actually sat quite nicely, a lot lower than the 50 EMA and the 50 SMA. The 200 EMA is currently sat at $18.06, with the 50 EMA 21.69 and the 50 SMA 21.74. As you can see up here. So for the most part, from like a traditional way of looking at the market just by using the EMAs, we're actually in a pretty reasonable bullish position here for AVAX, right? Now we take a look at it from a smart money concepts point of view. You can see that we had a change of characterization here. This happened over here on the 29th of October. We had a break of structure, break of structure, break of structure here. So essentially what that means is that I don't like the terminology break of structure because it's almost indicating like you've broken that bullish trend. But actually what it means is we're actually continuing the trend. So more of a continuation of the trend. So I'll call it more of a CTS. Now here you can see that we have this change of character. We get confirmation of our bullish movement, continuation of our bullish movement, and then another continuation. What we haven't done here is break out or break down more specifically from that bullish structure on smart money concepts. So it's looking very, very good from that point of view. Now, as we kind of come on in here, just make this a little bit bigger, we can see that we do have these impulsive movements here. We can see we have what appears to be a very impulsive 5-wave structure in here. And it does look like we are just, I'd say we've probably just finished that move there. Okay, now what's interesting about this 5-wave pattern is what leads into here as well, right? We can see, again, more of these kind of 5-wave structural points as well. So it's looking very, very good. I'd say here we probably have to expect a little bit of a correction now. Probably retest the 50 EMAs, 50 SMAs, maybe even move down towards equilibrium around $20. $20.30-ish, something like that. It'd be interesting to kind of see where that goes. I think for the most part, we're still going to remain in this bullish momentum move to the upside on Avalanche's AVAX. Now, when we take a look at this from a daily standpoint, you can see here that our expectations last time we did a video here was to see this move upwards. It has actually extended a little bit higher above and beyond what you would normally expect to see. So I don't think it is done just yet. I still see this as now an extension in that 5th wave movement, as we would normally have typically kind of seen this kind of topping out at 22.85, as you can kind of see just here on that 1.618, but it did exceed that. So that 5-wave move that we can kind of see happening inside there, I would say arguably is this area looking like it has completed, but we'll be looking to see whether or not we have any more extensions to come here on AVAX. Otherwise, it looks for the most part like this is done with the 5-wave move on the daily. So just going to keep that in mind. Our daily stochastics are moving up quite nicely. It shows that we might be running out of momentum here now. Okay, so it's going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on. By all stretches of the imagination, Elliott wave theory tells us that we probably have finished. The probability is that we've finished here. And smart money concepts is telling us that we've only just had a change of characterization, meaning that normally you would expect a retracement and then another break upwards if you're to continue it. This is pretty much aligned to kind of my thinking generally on the space at the moment. I am looking for corrective action on many of these projects, and AVAX here is now looking like it on the daily time frame. The hourly, of course, shows us with some potential still here, but for the most part, I'm thinking we probably have reached that upper limit now on Avalanche's AVAX on the daily time frame. You can see here as well the cross that's happened here on the 50 EMA crossing the 200 EMA. So that gives us that idea of bullish momentum, and also a golden cross on the 50 SMA crossing that of the 200 EMA is probably only a few days away. But again, if we do start to see slippage here, then we're probably going to see a bit of a turn down here as well. So it'd be interesting to kind of see how that happens. I imagine that we might avoid a golden cross barely, but we'll see how that kind of plays out. Now, from the kind of weekly standpoint, you can see that we were talking about accumulation between $7 and $10.69. This is a previous area of support and an area of interesting levels of demand. We came down quite nicely here. We had our bear market low point set, I think this one right here, $8.61. Let me just check on the low. Yeah, $8.61 there, and $8. Yeah, so $8.61 is the bear market low point. Right here, we have this great reversal pattern, so I'm pretty confident that this is the bear market low for AVAX. A retest of some of these low areas, though, I think is to be expected. Now, typically, because we have kind of a 5-wave pattern here, so we have, let me actually go and get some space here, right? We have ourselves a 5-wave pattern that's gone like this to the upside, right? That's kind of what is being symbolized inside this little move here, right? So you can see that there. So that's kind of what was on the daily time frame, right? The daily time frame is essentially this 5-wave pattern, right? And so what happens here is that this 5-wave pattern essentially, I believe, is inside a wave 1 like this, right? So realistically, what I'm saying is that this little 5-wave pattern here is all of that right there. Okay, that means that we'd end up with a wave 2 retracement and then a really big wave 3, okay, before we go into a 4 and a 5 and so forth, right? So that's kind of what we're looking for. And what that means is typically a wave 2 retraces 50 to 88.2%. That means that our retracement here, if we have topped out on that 5th wave move, would be right approximately here between $9.88 and $14.70. That would then be our next kind of buy range. That's essentially meaning that this is our wave 1, this becomes our wave 2, and we move up into a really strong wave 3, 4, and 5, right? And so we can then start to see this kind of big move coming out of the bearish market lows. So for AVAX here, it's looking very, very good. And of course, if we do see the deeper level retracements, and let's hypothetically say we find this previous area right here as support for us, then, you know, we're going to be targeting out our 1.618 here at $58.20. We'll have a little wave 4, and then we'll have that kind of 5th wave movement coming up, all of which can be wrapped up into another structure. So we obviously have the 5-wave pattern like this, and this can either be a ABC structure or the 5-wave pattern. In this particular case, I think it would probably more likely be an A wave up, a B wave down, and a C wave up, meaning that you end up with that another 5-wave pattern towards the end of the bullish market like that. Okay, so if that is the case, then, you know, what we're really looking for here is going to be a kind of quick correction here, and then another fantastic run upwards, taking you up into the new all-time highs. And again, it can overextend. It could do some phenomenal numbers. It could just be that this just blasts right off like that. We don't really know until we get there, but, you know, we have the kind of the data to kind of say, or we have the rules of Elliott wave theory to kind of know what's going on. Now, the other thing to bear in mind here is we have no structures from smart money concepts of meaning, of note, on the weekly time frame. We are overbought, so we are looking for this correction down. Target range 988 to 1470. Other than that, I think we're pretty much on track for AVAX. I think we are looking for an accumulation range down here, and then we're going to be able to take that up into the next big swing high. So I think that's going to wrap up today's video, guys. If you have found it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Until the next one, though, guys, have a fantastic day.